Reinventing the Steel, number 5, the band Swan Song. Now this one does hold a special place in the hearts of a lot of Pantera fans, but here's my theory as to why. Reinventing the Steel was the only Pantera album that was firmly part of the Ozfest generation. You know what I mean? Like kids who were born in the mid to late 80s, they got into this record the same time they got into Disturbed or Slipknot or Soulfly or whoever. So you find a huge chunk of the Pantera fan base where this is their favorite record, but it's mostly for that reason. Because for me, this album actually illustrates a really key point about Pantera. It's the same point that I make about Biggie and Tupac, which is they would have fallen off eventually. With these artists, we have this special snapshot of them in their prime, and then it just cuts out. But the reality is, eventually, the formula wears down, the chemistry between Pantera clearly wasn't meant to last forever, and you hear a lot of that on Reinventing the Steel, which, from an artistic perspective, is kind of an ironic title. Look, I love All Cast a Shadow. I think that Revolution Is My Name is a powerful single. Yesterday Don't Mean Shit, that is a fan favorite and almost hardcore influenced workout song. Dimebag has some crazy riffing on here, whether it's Goddamn Electric or You've Gotta Belong to It. That's probably a favorite of mine. No one would deny there is good material on here, but they're also blatantly phoning it in at points. And whatever your preference between the different eras of Pantera, this album is the only example of that, of phoning it in. The noticeably lazy songwriting in Death Rattle or in We'll Grind That Axe for a Long Time, whether it's lyrically or the equally tired riffs and grooves that are being recycled underneath them. This is the only part of Pantera's career where you would have stopped and gone, is Pantera like past their prime? It's a crazy thing to think about. I understand that these two tracks I've just pointed out are, their latter album deep cuts. You can kind of be, you can kind of mask in the rest of the album. But what about Hellbound, the opener? That's an underwhelming track. Let's put Hellbound up against some other Pantera openers. Cowboys from Hell title track, Mouth for War, Strength Beyond Strength, Great Southern Trend Call. I mean, it's not even fucking close. So not a bad album by any means, but this is definitely the one Pantera album where we can confidently label it non-essential.